So the next topic that we need to discuss as part of this multi-threading in Java is nothing but synchronization. So earlier I gave a brief introduction about the synchronization, but we discussed that we are going to deal with the synchronization topic at the time when we start writing programs on the synchronization concept. So now that we have written programs using which we created multiple threads, and we have seen how switching takes place between main thread and all the other threads that we created, and we have seen different methods. One is sleep method for suspending a thread, main thread or any other child thread, but it is not efficient, so that's why we have gone for using isalive and join method. So now that we have uh, understood how to create multiple threads in Java programming, we need to address a problem that we come across in multi-threading or even thread process-based multitasking also. The problem is nothing but we call it as synchronization. So now let us see what is synchronization, thread synchronization, and how this will affect multi-threading programs written in Java or any other language, whatever it may be. So there will be some issues, and the synchronization issue will be raised in any programming language which supports multi-threading. But we'll have some ways to solve that synchronization problem and see that our program works normally. Because of the synchronization problem, what happens is sometimes the programs will be switching. The multi-threading will be implemented, but uh, the programs will be executed in a inconsistent manner. So, what is that inconsistency and what are the problems that we are going to face? First, we'll discuss about that and then we'll see with an example program how to solve it. Okay. So, look at the slide here with the heading synchronization. Look at the first point. What is it saying? When two or more threads need access to a shared resource, they need some way to ensure that the resource will be used by only one thread at a time. So, what is this point? What is the meaning of this point? And what is it saying is uh, shared resources. It uses a term called shared resources. So, what is a shared resource? So, as we discussed, all the entities that are required for executing a program or a thread, if that matters in our context, it is thread. Instead of referring to the program, we'll refer to a thread because each and every program is divided into multiple parts. Each part is called as a thread now. Okay, so if there are multiple threads in a program and if all these three threads are sharing a particular resource, what do you mean by a resource? Any entity that is required for executing a program or a thread. So for example, our program requires some memory in a main memory of a computer, so we can consider this main memory as a resource. Similarly, it requires some IO devices to take some input or to generate an output and display it on the output device, right? So even input and output devices also can be considered as resources. Or sometimes we may be accessing a database on a server, and we may accessing some data. We may either store some data into the database or retrieve some data from the database. So even a database is nothing but a resource. Or we may be operating on a file on a secondary memory device. We may open a file and read the content from the file, or we may open a file and write some new content into the file. So now, because the thread is going to utilize this file, even file can also be called as a resource. So whatever entity is required to complete the execution of a particular thread, we call it as a resource. So examples of resources are: it can be a file, it can be a database, it can be a memory device, that is RAM, right? And an input and output devices can also be considered as resources. So if there is only one resource of a particular type, there may be multiple instances of a resource. For example, say uh, files. Uh, there will not be only one file on a secondary memory device. There may be multiple files, right? So if one thread wants to access one file and another thread wants to access another file, then we don't have any problem because both of them are accessing two different files. But if there is only one file and that one file is being accessed by two threads or more than two threads, each thread wants to access the content from the same file, then comes a problem. So such a file or such a resource is called as a shared resource. What do you call it as? Shared resource. Okay. So that is nothing but shared resource. I hope you understood what is the shared resource, right? If a thread is accessing a single resource instance, which is also being accessed by another set of threads, two or more other threads, then we call that resource as a shared resource. So the problem of this synchronization arises only when the threads are accessing or trying to gain access to a shared resource. It is just like during introduction to make you understand. I have given an example of two students or more than two students writing an exam and sharing a single resource of a pencil or a sharpener or a eraser. Because it is being shared by one person, the other person cannot use that resource at the same time, right? Say, for example, if you are using your eraser, you have that eraser with you and you are using it to erase something on your paper, and your friend beside you, he doesn't have a eraser of his own, so he wants your eraser only. So can he use at the same time when you are using that eraser? He cannot use, he has to wait, right? So in the same way, here in this context, the eraser is a shared resource. So similarly in programming or in any software application, any multi-threaded application which implements multitasking or multi-threading, whatever it is. So if multiple threads are accessing the same resource and it is a shared resource, then we come across a problem called synchronization. Okay, synchronization problem. So actually, synchronization is not a problem. Synchronization is a concept which will allow you to solve the problem that arises because of shared resources. Let me take one real-time example, and there will be some inconsistency if a shared resource is being manipulated by multiple threads. Say, for example, you and uh, your your brother or sister, whoever is your sibling, have a joint account, a joint bank account, right? So when you're having a joint bank account and both of you are trying to use that net banking or whatever application you have, you are trying to use it at the same time. Say there is say 10,000 balance in your account and you want to withdraw that 10,000. You are trying to withdraw from a bank ATM, or you're trying to purchase something using your net banking application online. So when your transaction is being performed, that software application which is performing will create a process or thread for that. So that thread is now performing using a database, and that database content is nothing but your bank account information. So it has to update after you make a purchase. Say, for example, you have purchased for 8,000, around 8,000 rupees, and so this is taken care by a single program on your net banking application. So what it has to do is, soon after you perform the transaction, it has to complete that transaction by updating the database with the amount that you have used. So you have used your 8,000, but earlier your account balance was 10,000. So it has to deduct 10,000, 8,000 from 10,000 and show update the balance with 2,000 in the database. The same database will be used by your sibling also. Somewhere he is located in some other city or country, he is also trying to access the same bank account at the same time. So there another program will be performing operation on the same database that you are accessing. So now the same database that we are accessing is shared by both your application as well as your siblings application. So it's a shared resource now. So even for your program, in your net banking application updates the bank balance because you are having multi-threading concept, you will be suspended, right? So your program or your thread has been suspended, and because of that suspension of the thread, the database is not updated with the new balance. New balance must be only 2000 now. But meanwhile, if your if your sibling has completed the transaction there some on some other application using the same database, what will happen? For him, the updated 2000 balance will not be shown to him. It will be showing still 10,000. So what will happen? He'll try to because he's thinking that he'll have 10,000 balance. He'll try to perform another transaction there. So if the transaction is completed, what will happen? The thread is not suspended for him, and as a result, he has completed the transaction. No, assuming that 10,000 balance is there, so he will be able to complete the 10, transaction there, and he'll be able to use all the 10,000 there, right? You have done a transaction for 8,000, and he'll complete the transaction for say 10,000, for example. So both of you together have completed a transaction for 80,000, but you are supposed to complete a transaction both together only up to 10,000, right? So this is an inconsistency problem because of this multi-threading, because the threads are switched from one thread to another thread. If the thread that is responsible for updating the database with the new bank balance, new account balance, is being suspended after the transaction is completed, and meanwhile at the same time, if it happens so that some from other place your sibling has completed another transaction there without the updated database bank account balance, then what will happen? This type of inconsistency will occur. Actually, for him, it has to show the account balance as 2000 only, but it is showing 10,000. Why? Because the thread which is supposed to be updating the database with the new account has been suspended here, right? So, this type of inconsistencies will arise when you are implementing multi-threading concept or multitasking concept. So to avoid such inconsistencies, what we need to do, we need to synchronize. Synchronize means what? Establish some kind of communication and make the other person, other thread aware that this another thread is already utilizing this shared resource. So you cannot utilize the same resource, shared resource at the same time. So in our example, the shared resource is a database, right? Till now, whatever example we have discussed, the shared resource is a database. Two people are using that database, and it is shared by both of them, and due to which an inconsistency arised, and the customer, you both people have been benefited. Even though you have 10,000 balance, you are able to use uh, 16,000 or 18,000, right? So this type of inconsistency should be avoided. So to avoid that, what we need to do, until you complete your transaction, because you have initiated first, because you are utilizing that shared resource database, your sibling must not be allowed to start in or initialize any transaction there, because you have entered first, right? So that kind of uh, communication, some kind of coordination between the two users is nothing but called as synchronization. So we call this as thread synchronization. So thread synchronization will eliminate this inconsistency in terms of utilizing the shared resources of a program. So that is nothing but the synchronization. So look at the second step. What is it saying? The process by which this is achieved is called synchronization. What is achieved? Avoiding the problem of inconsistency in the shared resources. So that problem is solved by the concept called synchronization. So look at the next point. The key point to synchronization is the concept of monitor. So how will we achieve this synchronization in our Java programming is we'll use something called a monitor, and this monitor can also be called as a semaphore, right? So what is this monitor? Is it a physical or a hardware entity or a software entity? So look at the next point. A monitor is an object that is used as a mutual exclusive lock. It can also be called as mutex. So what do you mean by this mutex or monitor means? Uh, it is just like a lock. say for the database you have a lock mechanism, and because you are you want to initialize the transaction first you'll obtain the lock or key for that. You lock it after you enter into that operation, so that because it is locked, no other person can open it and perform any transaction. So this kind of lock mechanism we are going to use to implement synchronization. And what is that lock mechanism name here? It is nothing but a monitor. So what is a monitor? It is an object. Once you obtain, you gain access to that lock upon a particular resource, so no other person will be allowed to gain access to that same resource at the same time until you complete the complete transaction, complete operation on that. You will not be giving that lock to other person, so he'll not be able to get into that uh, transaction. So that kind of mechanism is nothing but the monitor. So it is not a hardware entity; it is a software entity, right? So this is called as mutually exclusive lock. Mutually exclusive means what? If one person is gaining access, the other person will not be allowed. If that person is gaining access, then this person will not be allowed. So mutually, one person will be eliminating the other one. If this person is present, then the other one will be eliminated. If that person is present, this one will be eliminated. So that is nothing but called as mutual exclusive, right? So this is a mutually exclusive lock. It can also be called as mutex or semaphore also. So what this mutex monitor or semaphore does is it will allow only one thread to own a monitor at a given time, so that only one thread will gain access to the shared resource at a time. Two threads will not be allowed to gain access, right? So when a thread acquires a lock, it is said to have entered the monitor, and all other threads attempting to enter the locked monitor will be suspended until the first thread exits the monitor. So these other threads are said to be waiting for the monitor. So if you acquire a lock or monitor for using uh, shared resource, then you are set. You will be called as you have entered the monitor for that particular shared resource, and all the other threads which are also requesting for the same resource monitor, they'll be suspended, and they'll be said to be waiting for that monitor, right? So these other threads are said to be waiting for the monitor. A thread that owns a monitor can re-enter the same monitor if it so desires. So if you are having that monitor or lock with you, if you want to re-enter the monitor again, you can enter it later. So once you enter, it doesn't mean that you will be able to access it only for one time. So how many times you want, you can enter into that monitor for a shared resource, right? So let us see now the different ways using which you can implement this monitor mechanism in our Java programming. So we have something called synchronized methods in Java programming. So let us see that synchronized method concept here. So look at this slide here. Synchronization is easy in Java because all objects have their own implicit monitor associated with them. To enter an object monitor, just call a method. So here object is nothing but in our class instance of a class, right? So object will play a major role here. Objects will be considered as the will be representing the threads in a program. So instead of simply calling them thread, we'll use the representation object here. So to enter an object's monitor, just call a method that has been modified with the synchronized keyword. So you can use this synchronized keyword with the methods that you define in your class, and that method can be called only by one thread at a time. So if one thread has already called that synchronized method and if it is under execution, then no other thread will be allowed to call the same synchronized method. So this is nothing but mutual exclusion, right? So we'll implement this concept in a program that we are going to see next, right? So